Alrighty, good evening folks, it's Jay from Will's VG Addiction here.
Hello.
Back with a probable repair video here for you. So I got a couple packages today. Just gonna go ahead and bust right into them. So the first one here is from none other than the legendary OG of YouTube pickup videos, Justin from BIZZNES17. If you haven't seen his channel, I'll link it here in the description. So I came across this on eBay actually, and once I saw the name, I was like, you know what? I gotta get that. I gotta get it. So, otherwise, I probably would have passed on it. So we got ourselves a very discolored and very water-damaged Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And again, I would have passed on this. This was 20 bucks shipped, but I'm sure I can fix it. And because it was from Mr. BIZZNES17 himself, I figured I'd go ahead and pick it up. It was only 20 bucks shipped, which is not terrible, not great either. Didn't really realize how discolored the front was going to be, but I should be able to clean that up pretty well and fix it. Of course, we're going to test it first before we get into any of that nonsense, just to see if it actually does work. I'm sure it doesn't. And then, something I've been waiting a couple of weeks for. I guess it's kind of exciting, not really, because I have a few of these already. But I don't remember what I paid for this. I think I paid about $200, $210 ship, something like that. This will be my third. I'm knocking shit over. You know what I'm telling you. This will be my third Sega X'Eye or JVC X'Eye. Third one that I've gotten in the last like couple months or so, and the last two that I had the same problem where it was just a misaligned button basically. Well, the last two I got had the same issue. The somehow the top cover just kind of got misaligned, and there's like a little plunger that pushes a button down that tells the system that the CD lid is closed, and all I had to do was open it up and basically put the top back on, and they worked fine. So this one by description had the same issue. This one unfortunately didn't come with any controllers or any power cables or any of that nonsense, but still, if I can get this working, which I think I can, then we should be good to go. Oh wow, that's it's pretty dirty. The drive tray doesn't lift on its own. That's fine. Alright, so we got our N64 set up. You can see that there's a game in there. It's working. We're gonna try The Legend of Zelda and see what happens, if anything. This is what I would assume. Nothing happens. No reading at all. It's pretty much how I assumed that would go. Okay. So that will require a repair, and we got our X'Eye set up. Try a little primetime football there. Let's try that again. Alright, the card slot works. There is a disc in the system here. This is a CDR, it's a copy disc. But it is my test disc, and it just doesn't read that there's a game in there at all. Alright, so we'll pop it open, same as we always do. And if worse comes to worse, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn on my desoldering gun and my soldering iron now. That's going to be gross. Worst comes to worst, we can find a replacement board. I'm sure I've got one somewhere. I don't remember what the board number on this one is, but let me just replace the, well, you can just do a board swap if necessary, which I'm almost positive. Well, that's actually not too bad. It's not too bad. That does not look bad at all. This, this I believe is totally salvageable. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stop tape here. We're gonna switch the battery out because my battery's dying, and we're gonna get underneath the microscope. So in recent video, somebody had mentioned how they were kind of not feeling the focus on this camera. There's not really a whole lot I can do about it because this attachment that I have to the camera does not have like a separate focus adjustment of any sort, so I kind of got to go through the microscope itself, and unfortunately what I see through the eyepieces is not quite what I see through the camera part, so it's usually a little bit blurry there. But what I'm doing right now is I'm just cleaning this up a little bit with some alcohol, and I think I might see the problem already, but it looks like for the most part the traces are intact. I don't see anything like really too bad, but if we can, let's see, where's my shit? If we could take a look right here, this, that actually doesn't look too bad either. Can you see this right here? It's a little concerning, but I mean, that trace looks okay, I think. No, actually that does look broken. Looks like a broken trace. That looks okay there, but this one is definitely not quite there. There's a break, a definite break right there, if you can see that. So, we'll make this super easy. Just gonna run a wire from here to here, and I think that'll take care of our problem. Now, of course, I could just figure out which chip that goes to inside or to the leg, but I just don't like doing that because I just feel like it looks sloppy. It's a lot less obvious, I guess, when you actually repair the trace instead of doing a jumper. And it's not like I'm trying to deceive anybody. I'm just saying that, I mean, I am going to sell this at some point, and I will probably sell it for pretty steep discount, but you know, I just want it to look nice when I do sell it. Usually if it looks like shit and you got large wires running all over the place, people aren't going to be so keen on buying it. But if you can give them a solid deal, especially with, I mean, the condition of this thing isn't that great anyway as is. So like I said, I paid 20 bucks for it. Probably sell it for like 25, if that. I mean, I might even just have to move it on for, you know, whatever I pay for it, which, you know, obviously that's not good business, but I'm just doing it for sport at this point. I really don't need to make money on this crap, even though of course everybody likes to make some money, and I'm not bragging or anything like that, but I don't know, I haven't been in selling like I used to be, and again at this point it's just more of a sport thing, just to see if I can do it than it is anything else. Alright, let's see, let's get this in focus in the camera view so you can see what I'm doing. I might have to change my tip here. I don't like this pointed tip, but we'll try it anyway. So I laid some flux down, and I'm just putting some solder on the exposed area. Make sure I get enough on there. I think I'm gonna go ahead and change this tip. I really don't like this one. Alright, so when I say curved tip, that's what I'm talking about right there. Sorry, it's not in focus, but you get the idea. Now what I'm going to use, if I can find it, is giant. This is what I call the phone killing wire. I actually dropped this giant spool. It's not a giant spool, but it's like a 4-pound spool of wire, very thin wire, on my old phone, which is why I'm not doing picture-in-picture, because it broke my screen. 20-some years of having a cell phone. It's the first time that I've ever had a broken phone. Anyway, can't see what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of tinning up. Not really tinning. I'm just heating up the wire and removing the enamel part. All right. So this wire, again, if you've watched this channel before, you will know that it is about the diameter of a human hair. Very very difficult to work with for a lot of folks, but this is what I prefer to use for repairing traces because it is so thin. Alright, and again, it's not very obvious. Like I said, not like I'm trying to deceive people, but I just want this to actually look close to close to factory if possible, when possible. And when I say factory, I mean I just don't like having jumper wires and shit everywhere. If I can just use a very small, thin wire to actually repair a trace, to me that's better than trying to jump it. Alright, so, oops. Shit. But again, it's just not very easy to do. It's not, like I said, I'm not trying to show off or talk about how great I am, but it does take a little bit of skill to do this. And it's simple as that, just that little bit right there. Grab myself a Q-tip, clean that off, and check for continuity, and then we'll check it in the system and see if that makes our game go. I vote yes. I think it will. Now, as we put that back in focus, how do you think that looks? We'll switch cameras. Alright, so this is about as close as it's going to get in focus with this camera. That is what the trace repair looks like. So let me go ahead and set this up on a tripod and we'll try it out. Alright, I decided to go without the tripod and just do the hands only thing and see if it works, because it gives me a little bit more flexibility. Not as stable obviously, but let's turn it on and see what happens. There we go. Simple as that. So, I know it's hard to see there because there's no light, but that is the board that I just did that trace repair on. Let's see if there's anything on the battery. Well, I don't know if the battery works or not. I'll test that out. If I need to replace it, I probably will, just because it looks all rusted and corroded. But yeah, at least we got one thing working. So thanks for watching. I will catch you all up when I decide to fix that JVC X'Eye or do a deep dive on that. But it's going on 11 o'clock at night on Friday. I'm tired, just got home from work like an hour ago, so I'm ready to just chill. Thanks for watching. Peace.